The morning of the accident was just a typical New England winter morning. There were some schools that were closing down. Our school decided not to, so loaded the 3 kids in the car and took my older 2 to school. But on the way back from school, the tire on the van caught the slush, and I could feel that I had lost all control and I couldn't do anything about it. I started seeing things in slow motion, knowing what was coming and not being able to move the steering wheel or control the car at all. The slush just pulled me right over the line and hit head on with the car coming the other direction. We were both going about 40 miles an hour. My son that was in the car was homeschooling at the time, and he was 9 years old. The second the car stopped moving, I jumped out of the car to try to get to my son. I was trying to open the side door, and my arm was just hanging there, and I couldn't get it open, and I'm looking at my arm going, "Do something! Why aren't you doing something?" One of the eyewitnesses who saw the accident came rushing over. "Do you have a child in the car?" I said, yes, get my child out. So he opened the door and I was able to see Caleb. He was very upset. He said his stomach was hurting. Caleb was released after a couple of hours. He had some testing done to make sure that he was not bleeding inside. He just had some bruising, and he ended up being totally fine. Praise God for that. I had broken my left collarbone, fractured my elbow, and completely dislocated it, so none of this was attached. And that's why it wouldn't do anything when my brain told it to do something. I also ended up fracturing 3 ribs and my sternum. I ended up having vertigo for months and months after the car crash. They wanted to keep me overnight at the hospital because of my sternum, because they were concerned about my heart, so I stayed overnight. Didn't even think of it until maybe the next day about, paying for any of it. We had auto insurance, and after they took care of their portion, unfortunately, there was still a large amount of money left over that needed to be taken care of. After this car accident happened, I was just thankful to be alive. I was thankful that my child was okay. It could have been so much worse with a head-on car crash of that magnitude. And one of my favorite sayings in the Bible is, "But God." You have these horrible things that happened or that could happen, and then it will say, "But God, He makes all things new." And this experience and being so loved and cared for through the members of CHM and being able to tell my story and share that with other people has been an amazing experience to show them, but for God, we wouldn't be here, and that He took care of us, protecting us in the car crash, to having all of the bills shared by the members of CHM. After the car insurance paid their portion of it, then CHM members shared $28,000 after the $7,000 we got for our discounts. And in times of uncertainty, like after a car accident, that made us feel very loved and well taken care of. God sees everything that's coming. God knows what's coming, and God gave us CHM to share our bills, big and small. There's a verse that says, "They will know that we are Christians by our love for one another," and ministries like CHM show that to the world, and ultimately God is glorified through that.